Welcome to Rising Misfits. My name is Nali Barfield.
I'm Latoya Sample.
And this is Marissa, our guest.
Hello.
Welcome. Rising Misfits is a podcast where we talk about different stereotypes and topics facing the Christian community and churches. Also, just some world events and some world news. Alright, so getting straight into it. Today's episode is called The State of the Christian. It's kind of a play on State of the Union, given by presidents. Good old President Trump. Oh, yeah.
Oh, joy.
Alright, so there's apparently two biggest things that's happening in like society right now. First off is this whole Black Panther hype.
Mm-hmm.
Now, y'all saw Black Panther?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
I'm going.
Oh my gosh!
In due time.
It just came out like last week.
No, hello.
You gotta wait for the hype to go down.
It didn't. What was it? February 16th?
No, that's the reason why you should have saw it.
No, because it was sold out in so many places.
Yeah,
You didn't buy your tickets. What kind of Black Card revoked, bruh?
No.
Hello?
You know what? You
I
know
saw
what?
it Thursday.
I know a lot
This
of
is my
people.
African gear.
A lot of people who are like
Sorry.
into Marvel, they're like, oh well, you can't watch this movie if you didn't watch the other ones. And then when it came out, people were like, well, you don't have to. You didn't have to watch the other ones to follow along with.
You don't have to, but it doesn't matter because this movie means so much to the Black community.
Well, that didn't say I was not gonna watch it. It's only been out for
It's,
one
yeah.
1 week.
Hello? Alright, so I'm about to say all
We
these
still have
stats.
time. We still have time, though.
Yeah.
I'm about to say all these stats that you're not a part of because you do not donate any money to the movie yet.
Oh, boy.
Alright, so the hype is following right now in Black Panther is right now it's sold $213 million domestically.
Wow, yeah.
And we're at $490 million worldwide.
That's dope.
Now the reason why this is such a big, I guess, besides the fact this is like the dopest Black movie ever, is because of the fact that it's the dopest Black movie ever. We have so many people boycotting this movie. Like we have, I guess, what do they call themselves? The alt-right? Saying that, why there's so much hype against this movie because we have different other movies of Black superheroes. Now, my personal opinion, I feel like this is the only movie or Black superhero movie where you actually wanted to be that Black superhero, especially as like kids. Like nobody wanted to be like Meteor Man growing up. Like what? Or what is that movie Shaq is in? Shazam?
Yeah, Shazam.
We didn't look up to Shazam.
They were like comedic, like kind of heroes.
Every other Black superhero was like a comedian or it was just straight lame.
Mm-hmm.
So what's going on with this movie right now is it's impacting the lives of so many young children to say, hey, I want to be that person. I want to be a drug dealer. I don't want to be a rapper. I want to be a king. King Wakanda. See, y'all don't even know what this is.
I know it is.
Y'all
Like
don't
I'm not
know-
dead
y'all
in
don't know
social
what this-
media. Oh
what
gosh,
this-
you about to put us out the house, man.
Y'all don't even know.
Wow.
Alright, so just talking about the hype, what do y'all think about this movie and how it like impacts society today? What's your thoughts on it?
I haven't seen it, but I think already just because it's mainly African Americans in there playing the parts, I feel like it's a good thing as little kids to look up and see, like, okay, not all superheroes and not all positive influencers have to be the opposite skin color or a different race, like, oh my gosh, like that could be me, because it's people that are in the same with me, we're at the same level.
I think, in long story short, this is our thing. There's just nothing like something being cool, something being powerful, something being strong, something being dope, and then there's the FUBU aspect. It is for us, by us. So because it's so amazing, now Black people get to say, man, this amazing thing is my thing. Like, the people who are a part of this movie, they're all representations of us. So I get to look at the big screen and see a powerful, strong superhero in this super trendy film that's supposed to be so, like, powerful and influential and, like,
I'm proud to be
it's
Black,
the epitome of strength. It's like perpetual.
So true.
It emits Black strength, Black, power, Black excellence. And it's for us, by us. I think when the trailer first came out, or the first kind of promo pictures came out a year ago, Black people already gravitated to this. So I think from about a year ago, we knew that this was going to be our thing. And the phenomenon from it comes from it being ours. Like, we get to say, this amazing thing is ours. I don't know if we should be so exclusive to other, like, ethnicities and, like, other races and say, no, sorry, Asians, whites, you can't have this.
You can't,
I think for so long in society, we we're stuck with this notion that there's not that many things in the media that's for us. You know, there's some great action movies, there's some great things, but there's maybe we get the token black guy or the one black girl. But now this is all-inclusive, powerful, strong, amazing cast in this bad movie, and it's ours, and we're holding on to it as a culture so tight.
Yeah, it's that proud moment you said, because like when you see it, and like the number one thing when I finished seeing that movie is I had a moment to like self-reflect. I was like, I was proud to be black in that moment.
Yeah,
it's like how short of a moment that was. I'm like, yo, I am proud to be who I am.
Right, it's like, bigger than the movie. Like I think so many people are going to see it because it's not just about the premise of the movie, or you know, Wakanda not even being like it's a fictional place.
Oh, we going to Wakanda. Wakanda forever.
No, it's not. They about to make a country.
They
about to. I think it's gonna be made. You know what I'm saying? But it's just like
about to go to heaven and call it Wakanda.
It's what it means. Like it's what it means for the culture. It's another thing where we just say this is for the culture, and we get to say, man, this belongs to us. And now kids get to look at the screen and look at Lupita and look at all the other beautiful actresses and say, I want to look like this person.
And I feel like that's the real beauty of it.
That's the beauty of it. The kids are looking at it and they're saying, well, I want to be strong and powerful. Like I can be this person. It's a me too or I too kind of thing that we seldomly get in the media. So when we get it, we've got to I'm hoping this sparks more films of this magnitude being made. It was just like the Get Out hype, you know? It was like finally a movie that was amazing. But I know, I see your face. I see your face. I see your face.
Once again, like, Get Out had a message, but as you said, it wasn't for us by us, in a sense. Get Out had I just felt like it was another horror film with a black guy at the end of the day.
I don't think so. I think...
It had a message, but what that message really received in terms of this movie?
I don't even think the message of the success of the movie necessarily wasn't about the premise of the movie. And this is what because I haven't seen Black Panther yet, I'm the outside person telling you the significance of the cultural aspect, not the actual movie itself. Yeah. I think with Get Out, it became this well-written, well-crafted, amazingly conceptualized movie where the black guy at the end, he triumphs and he doesn't die. And it's like a puzzle. And it's like something that you underestimated a black man being able to conceive so well. So it just became about the success of Jordan Peele penning this thing and what it did for the culture, because now Jordan Peele, this is for the culture. And then black people went to support it so much. I'm not saying with Black Panther, there's a similar cultural aspect of it. It's like, this was so amazingly conceived. This was so amazingly shot, amazingly filmed, and now black people are going out in droves to support this culture. They're going to support the culture just as much as they're going to support the premise of the film.
Yeah, both good movies. But when I got out of Get Out,
when I got out of Get Out,
I didn't have that feeling. When you see it, you understand like that feeling that you get. I'm like, I wasn't proud to be black when I got out of Get Out.
I was just saying, he saw something good. He saw something.
Yeah, I was like, great movie. Great message.
But alright.
But on to the next thing.
Yeah.
You didn't think that, Jordan Peele did like
something it was a fantastic movie. Great movie.
In a genre that black people are either
often killed first.
And even as writers, black people are not really given the leeway to thrive in this.
But still, like, I felt like the thing is, what change did it bring? Because I feel like that movie said something that we already knew. We already know all of the premises.
Yeah, I kind of agree. Like
that movie,
in terms of like the what happens when you're kind of the black guy
and then like black guy in like a white like relationship or being around white people.
It's insecurities about
it's all those insecurities. Yeah, but we already knew that. We had movies about that. We talked about that. It's like your average day at some people's workplaces or home.
The fictional aspect of it. I think the ending and what the cultural aspect of it, maybe that's where I stand on it. Not necessarily what you take away from the plot of the movie is what makes it, a different movie than a Paranormal Activity or a Saw. Sure. It's just like, Jordan Peele pen this amazing. A lot of horror movies, the ratings aren't even high. The market for horror movies is kind of going down because they become so mundane, and we already know what to expect. This wasn't even just a horror movie. It was a science fiction thriller that has so many intricate parts. But I'm not going to stay on there. I think Black Panther, when I see it, it'll probably enhance my perspective of the whole, like, you know, I'm proud to be Black kind of thing. I think right now it's not trendy to be Black. It's like we're stepping into this period where, you know, we're recognizing how amazing we are, how influential we are, and we can break the box office, and we can break records, and we can be like freaking awesome. When we all are together.
Power of the Black Dollar.
Amazing.
I just think it's awesome.
Amazing.
I think it's awesome.
So on a more sadder note, next thing that's actually really going on in this society right now is this whole Florida shooting.
Yeah.
Now, before we even get into the tragedy that happened and everything that's going on, the controversy that's going on is two things. One, the problem with America and gun control. Mm-hmm. And it seems like a lot of politicians don't seem to get less junk guns equal less shootings. Right, I feel like we're the only country that doesn't get that. But there's so much that happened in a span of like a couple of weeks. First up, we have President Trump who's saying they want to arm teachers. Mm-hmm. And my personal opinion, being a teacher or a mother of a teacher, I feel like arming teachers is not the best thing, because when these kids get in your nerves, you're going to be like, pop up.
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense. Then we have, can't make this up, we have allegedly CNN are planting fake kids who were supposed to be called as survivors. Did you guys hear that?
Just read.
So CNN apparently has a child where people linked to other tragedies that happened in different states. Mm-hmm. And it's the same kid. And he's saying a message against gun control and basically saying that a lot of these survivors were staged. And like their conversations that they had with the media was staged. And you had witnesses and you have like actual visual evidence of the same kid at different places. Obviously, that's something wrong.
I'm done.
Can't make this up. So the theory of people planting and the media controlling everything is once again out there. And then, lastly, on a more positive note, we have some of the actual survivors who are fighting against gun control, where they're actually making political moves. They actually had a conference with CNN and different platforms where they actually talk about why we don't need guns in America. So, all that to say, first off, what do you feel about this whole teachers being armed with guns thing? Because I feel like that's just...
That's a no. That's a big no.
This is my answer. This is like...
It's like, how do we get here as America?
This is like...
That's the number one answer to gun control in schools, as to pretty much make a school a prison, essentially.
Okay, so now what happens when a student gets a hold of that gun? Then what?
There's that. There's so many principles.
Then
like,
what?
Student can shoot teachers, and then what do you expect? You expect a shootout to happen inside of school?
Because some of them kids be kind of bigger
we
than
know the answer to solving gun control, and it's just like dancing. America's just dancing around the elephant in the room right now.
Because it makes too much money.
Yes, it's highly profitable. Like there's millions and billions of dollars that go into it. And I mean, we can. It's more. I'm just giving the eye roll because it's just like seriously. It's like seeing that it's like having your kid having cookies all around them. And instead of you not buying the cookies or putting the cookies up, you try to find another solution to, make sure that your kid doesn't mess with the cookies. We know. Like, I'm getting upset as I talk about it because how many lives are going to be lost before we actually do something? We know that what the solution really is. And we're going to find, they think we're so stupid. They're going to find every little thing. I think Congress will just throw out any little thing just so that they don't have to take out the one thing that they need to take out.
Right.
It's just don't want to do it.
So saying all that, with that passion, tying it back around, with all this hype going on, the Florida shooting, Black Panther hype, how as Christians, how should we respond to this?
Prayer. This is where I feel like this is a time where we really put our trust and we really get to see our faith. We get to build our faith in God. You know, because it's just like, we can't do this just with our own flesh. We can't do this with just our own mind. Our minds can't comprehend all of this stuff that's going on right now. So this is the time where we go talk to Daddy, right? We go talk to him and we see like, okay, God, okay, what's going on? Like, what should we do? We pray and we wait. We really just trust in God right now. There's no answer that we could come up with right now that would probably be solutionable for this. You know,
I have two perspectives. I have a very good friend, and she posted this on Facebook the other day, and she says we have all these prophets in the world, all these amazing, gifted, anointed prophets, and no one could have prophesied that the shooter was going to come into school.
Wow, I didn't think. Yeah.
And then I also said, she was
that.
like, you know, we have all these anointed people who can predict certain things in people's lives and speak over people's lives, and there's a lot of end time. And there's a lot of, crisis and, prophets who prophesy of things to come. No one prophesies prior to these things to prevent certain things from happening. That's one aspect of it. The second aspect of it is Jesus being here, Jesus being within us, Jesus being on us does not prevent evil in the world. Like, Jesus... one of my favorite scriptures in Matthew is, I have not come to bring peace, but I've come to bring a sword. I've come to turn the mother away from the father from the daughter. In my interpretation of that, is like, as we are Christians, we walk the earth, we live in the earth, we are in the world, but we're not of the world. Yeah. But we are not, there's evils that are going to be in this world. People are getting murdered and killed and hurt every single day, and Jesus being who he is does not stop that. As Christians, I agree with you. We are to pray. We are to wait. But we are also not to be naive that things will happen. This is why.
Just by praying,
Just by praying. But this is why tomorrow's not promised to you. I could be a God-fearing woman and still and be an anointed woman and still walk down the street and get shot and killed tomorrow. And the only mandate that's supposed to be on my life is to make your calling and election sure. Make sure that you know who your Savior is, because if you die tomorrow, why do we get told that, thank God that you woke up this morning? As anointed and amazing as you are, you could go to sleep tonight and still not wake up.
Right.
So your mandate is not necessarily to prevent or be a Christian and pray to block things, but it's to walk as uprightly and live your life as purposeful as you can. Because if you don't make it, and you don't make it in the earth realm, when you die, you will go to heaven. So we're not, I'm kind of on the line, like I am sometimes, because I don't know.
Get off the fence.
Yeah, I'm not on the fence about like who I am as a Christian, but my heart burns so much because now somebody lost their child.
Yeah, because I feel like that's the one thing that as humans we'll never understand, because as you said the first part about prophets predicting and prophecy stopping that, I'm like, my personal opinion, that's not our job as a prophet. Like, our job, not a prophet, to be fortune tellers.
Right, and be like, oh, well, this is going to happen. But people have prophesied things happening and been able to pray to stop it. It's happened before.
I mean, we prophesy whatever God gives us.
On us.
Yeah.
And that's first and foremost. So the things that, like end day times and stuff like that, things that God put in our heart may not give us the whole blueprint, like perfectly drawn out, but just an image or a dream in a sense of what's to come. But if it's my personal opinion and how I help people with like loss, who like lost a loved one and who's in the faith, is it's all in God's hands.
Right.
I feel like in those moments is where our faith is tested the most. Because like me personally, as a Christian, and for everybody out there, like if you're like a true believer, if you never doubted God at some point in your time,
yeah,
I don't want to say you're not a Christian or like.
It's true though.
I just question your relationship.
Things get rough. Things get rough.
Because I have plenty of friends who like mothers, fathers passed away, and as Christians and believers, like why would God take away my father and stuff like that? And at the end of the day, I feel like it's about our purpose. Like God put a purpose in all of us. And there's a start time and there's an end time. And we have to understand as Christians that tomorrow is not granted. So yes, as a tragedy may be hard, and we must continue and pray, I feel like we have to know that, this is real. Like, don't take life for granted.
I don't think we should be naive. I think Christians, we shouldn't be naive.
As Christians, we are naive at times. Like
we're
a lot of churches are very naive in how we talk to people.
You can't be naive because you can't just think that like, at the day you come up from the water or the day that you trust. And I think it also comes with your faith growing. I think there's some Christians who have been Christians for years, but they never grew. Like, they're still infants in their spirit.
Their growth is
like their growth is stagnant. Yeah. You cannot be naive to think that when you start walking with God that everything is going to be okay. Yeah. But just like you said, like, you have to put your trust and faith in God, and He walks with you. You know, He walks with you. I think personally, my life got even more tumultuous and more crazy after I started walking with God. Things got worse for me in terms of my daily life. Like, I experienced more hardship after, but I felt better because I had God with me. Like, I had something to trust in. Yeah. And you cannot be naive to think that life is just going to be, oh my gosh, God is going to make everything go away. People are still going to get killed. People are still going to lose loved ones. I'm pretty sure there were some kids that walked into that school that day. That's what hurts me the most. Like, some of those kids that had dreams and they had purposes, they never thought that they would die. Some kids go to school now. You never know that, you know, your last day on this earth would be that day. You don't know this stuff. But as Christians who are watching these things or witnessing these things, you cannot be naive to negate who God is because these tragedies happen. Right. Like, we are to continue to be and stand in what we do. Pray.
That's, as you said, that's one of the biggest misconceptions, you know? It's like, we feel like because I gave my life to Christ, I'm going to live this easy life. And that's never what God intended us to be. Like, we will go through trials and tribulations. It's not a matter of if. We will. And so I think it's all about, like, a learning process.
Yeah, I feel like it should really be pray, trust, and then be wise. Because you can't just
bars.
Bars. Because I was just reflecting on what you were saying, and I'm like, like, okay, cool. Yeah, you could pray all you want, but you can't just be here. Oh, so you're praying, and somebody come and say, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna rob you," and you just be like, "Hey, well, you ain't gonna rob me.
God is gonna take care of everything."
Like, no,
the Lord of Jesus comes against you.
You gotta use some wisdom.
You gonna be shot off.
You can fall out all you want. Your money ain't gonna be there. He gonna take it and go on your way. But you gotta. I feel like as Christians we need to use wisdom too, because I feel like prayer. Yeah, prayers are strong, and they come in handy all the time. But you have to do stuff for yourself too. You have to take an action for yourself as well for things to actually get put in place. That's like taking a test. You pray to God to pass your test, but you didn't pass the test because you ain't studied. Right. How you expect to pray and not? Yeah.
It's very important to put an application on your prayer and on your trusting. Like there's something that's given and there's something that's required. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that's what the pruning process as being Christians and giving your life to Christ is once you give your life to Christ, then the pruning process starts. Yeah. And I kind of look at it as like a father figure. Like I literally live your life, like teaching, like learning how to walk. Mm-hmm. And then from there, you like learn other skills as being human. And it's the same thing in Christianity. He's teaching you more skills, and He will never give you more than you can bear. Right. So it's all about the process. But as you said, like you got to put an application on your trust. You can't just be out here seeking danger.
Right.
And the Lord will protect me. It's crazy. I don't know if y'all seen that movie, The War Room. That's one of my favorite movies.
You know, I still haven't seen it.
What? Ain't talking about Black Panther.
Your Christian
My Christian card revolt.
Oh. Take cards with people.
It's like I saw glimpses of it. Put it that way.
So
we played it at my church. Don't ask
me. Come for us.
I love the movie, but there's a scene where the wife and the lady who was ministering, who's working with her, they are walking through the lot. I think they had the daughters and yell with them, and their robber comes up to them and he tries to he's going to attempt to rob them. And the older lady, she was like, "Stop!" She rebukes him right there, and then she speaks to him, and then he's frozen and he cannot rob them anymore. Mm-hmm. And I think some Christian probably saw that and they was like, "Oh my God, I'm gonna try that." Stop! The Lord comes against you.
I rebuke you,
and you might just die right then and there. But you might not make it. I know if I do that, as soon as I say it, it'll be one right here, a bullet just where you.
I'm not opposed to saying it. But if somebody shoot me point blank, I'm like, the blood of Jesus.
Like this is
and see what happens.
Here comes the them though. Like, you know, for example, I live in an apartment like complex, a condominium complex, and sometimes if I'm coming home really late at night, I still have to be real cognizant. The time I come home, I still have to be really careful. Will you be walking through Brownsville, Brooklyn at 3 o'clock in the morning just like la 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 la? Like, I still believe in being wise and still, you know, not putting yourself in certain situations. And also praying and also trusting in God, but also listening to the Holy Spirit that should speak to you and tell you and let you know certain things. But bringing it back to the school shooting, it's sad to say that it may not be the last, you know? I mean, we were saying this with the Charleston 9 people that got killed, and the Orlando shooting in the club. And, you know, every other year there's something going on where people are in a large group of people are in a space and they are being massacred by somebody for whatever reason. And now they're looking at Nicholas, the guy, and they're painting. It's even becoming a racial issue. They're looking at him and saying, oh, well, he was a mentally ill person. And I'm seeing a trend. I'm seeing a trend of mental illnesses and people, like, I think it's demonic. I believe in demonology. I believe in spiritual
warfare.
Yeah, and I think that these people are being influenced by demonic spirits and by Satan himself to do these acts. I think mental health can also be a stronghold from the enemy, where it's an open door for that demonic influence or that demonic spirit to have you carry out those acts. It'll be easy. You're open. Just like you're a vessel. God, use me as a vessel. Like, Satan has vessels too that he uses to carry out certain acts, you know? Yeah. So it might not, as long as we're on this earth, there are going to be many more vessels used to carry out.
So now, just bringing it back full fold is, how do you think God can use all this to wake this country up?
Bring people together. I feel like this would be the start to bringing people together as one.
It's like, cause like,
I feel like it would.
Like the stats on it is, from 1993, I'm paraphrasing, to like, I think from 2015, there was like 68 mass shootings.
If you're a Christian,
I feel more so Christians.
If you're a Christian, you need to wake the heck up. Like, I don't think it's like, what else do you need to know that this world is getting, like, things are getting real? I think it's like, yo, if you would just like living your life as this quasi, I'm gonna do me, I'm gonna just live my life however, and I'm gonna call myself a Christian. Yeah. Now it's like, wake up. What more do you need? What else do you need to see to know that there's a heaven, there's an earth, there's a hell, the God is coming? Like, what else do you need to see? You need to wake up.
Like, how do we wake up? Because my biggest problem, and once again, I love the church. Like, PK, love the church, love God's bride. But the biggest problem in a lot of churches, not all, is, are we being too timid? Are we being like too politically correct in a sense? Because too many times I visit some churches that believe in heaven but don't believe in hell, and or some churches that believe in hell are saying that, who preaching go to heaven, but not actually preaching that the consequences of your actions of going to hell. And I feel like we live in this whole politically correct world where we don't want to like say the important things that need to be said because we worry about people's feelings and how people are sensitive, how people may take it. So I'm like, how do we wake up if we're not being taught to wake up? People getting baby fed scripture.
I think the reality is some churches are not going to wake up. I wish there was something to say that we could be like, you know, well, if the church does this and they do that, I think the way it has to play out is that there are going to be a lot of churches that don't wake up, that live in this world where they just don't get it. And as we're getting closer and closer to that end time, for those of us who believe in the end times, there are going to be more and more lost churches. There are going to be more and more pastors who just don't get it. And if you are not that Christian, or you are not that person who has the Holy Spirit and know God for yourself, you might get lost and sucked into that ministry that is just not going to see the bigger picture. So I wish that we could I believe that there will be some churches that will emerge or that will shift and begin to preach the full gospel or really see the bigger picture. But there are going to be some churches that never wake up. There are going to be some people who are just going to paint themselves with the Christian paintbrush, but never get to waking up.
That's powerful, man. I'm telling you.
But
it's like you live in a time now that you gotta wake up, man. There's too much around you to happening. There's too many signs, and like my personal opinion, like God is really doing something. Even with Trump being our president right now, God is doing something in America to wake that country up. And like a lot of people say, "Oh, I can't stand Trump as our president," and stuff like that. I'm like, yeah, I agree with his actions, but understand the principle and like principalities behind it. Everything that's going on, like pray for your country.
You have to, but look at Trump being in office. Since he's been in office, it's been followed by controversy. It's been followed by everybody who's worked with him. There's indictments every day. There are court cases. There's so much, there's so many investigations going on. Like, y'all don't think that God was not gonna see that there was a lot of corruption going on leading up to the White House? Like,
definitely. I feel like God cleaned the house with the White House. Man.
If anything, a lot of times, sometimes God will put certain people on a pedestal just so he could show everybody else how he's about to deal with them. Yeah. Not all the time is that, oh, well, God is not just, how could he let this guy get in office? I think he put this man in, he allowed, I don't think God put the guy in office. I think God allowed it to happen. And now we are seeing so many things. Like, Donald Trump's life is really on, like, it's a microscopic view. Like, everything about him. I think he's even been shown in more of a negative light since he's become president. But the whole entire administration, there's so much stuff going on in the political realm that has to be under crazy investigation, and so many people who have gotten in trouble since. It's just like, did y'all really think that these guys were going to get away with everything? If anything, I feel like him coming in office showed that God exposed a lot of stuff on the negative end for these Republicans. So, like, once again, I'm a Christian. I'm like, yo, God, you did it again. Like, God, there is no lose. There is no lose. That's why you're supposed to pray for, I actually feel more to pray for Trump than anything. Not like, oh my gosh, I lost all my hope in America. I want to pray for Trump because this man, they're taking him to the cleaners. They're taking him, his reputation, everybody is social. They all going down. They all being brought down. God do not play.
Yeah, but like you said, I feel like God doesn't allow certain things to happen for a reason because he knows the end before he knows our end and our beginning. And I feel like just going back to what we were talking about before with the school shootings and stuff like that, and I feel like now is the time for us to, of course, be more aware and keep our eyes more open. And as young people, we are supposed to be out there doing the right thing, spreading the right things, spreading the right words, and taking action. Because who else is gonna do it? Right? It doesn't take a whole bunch of people to spread goodness and make things go out there. Yeah, the way they should. But I just feel like, and I know that's my prayer too, as I speak to God and as I grow with God. I'm just like, whatever way that you need to use, you want me to be used to get out to all these young people, then use me. Yeah, connect me with the people that I need to be connected with so that I can spread your word, so I can help somehow, because I'm not here just to be here. I'm here for a purpose.
Right, you have to walk in your purpose.
And we all are.
At the end of the day, you gotta wake up, man.
Yeah.
That's the main goal. So as a young Marissa said, pray, trust, and
be wise.
Be wise.
Be wise.
And that's the theme. Pray, trust,
that's about to be the theme for the podcast. All right, guys. So that's our episode today. Follow us at Misfits Arise. You can check out the videos on YouTube.
Go check them out. Or
our website, misfitsarise.tv. All right, we catch you guys later for next time's episode.
Bye. I don't know why.